Hello students, today we are going to discuss about human reproduction part 9. Welcome to our channel Read MedPrep Academy. In part 9 we are going to talk about parturition and lactation. Parturition means childbirth. Parturition is the completion of pregnancy and giving birth to the baby or the child. The series of events that expel the infant or the fetus from the uterus is collectively called labor or parturition or childbirth. Now, after the complete pregnancy of 40 weeks, the parturition occurs. What are Braxton-Hicks contractions? Throughout the pregnancy, the uterus undergoes periodic episodes of weak and strong contractions. These contractions are not regular and rhythmic. They do not become increasingly stronger. They sometimes end if the woman walks around. These contractions, which are irregular and not rhythmic, are called Braxton-Hicks contractions or false labor pains. What are true contractions or uterine contractions? As the pregnancy progresses, increase in the estrogen concentration promotes the contraction of the uterus. These contractions, what do? They facilitate the moulting of the fetus and the downward movement of the fetus during delivery. You can see here that when the uterus contracts and the contractions become stronger and stronger, the fetal head is pushed down into the cervix for delivery. Now, what are the differences between the false and the true uterine contractions? The false contractions are called Braxton-Hicks contractions and the true contractions are called uterine contractions, which are real. The Braxton-Hicks contractions occur only after 20 weeks, whereas the real contractions occur after 37 to 40 weeks. The Braxton-Hicks contractions are painless, whereas the real contractions getting painful over time. And the Braxton-Hicks contractions are irregular, whereas real contractions are regular and rhythmic. The Braxton-Hicks contractions are infrequent. They don't get stronger or closer together, whereas real contractions intensify and get closer together, that the duration shortens. Lessen with change of position. Don't subside with change of position is the real contraction. Now, what is Ferguson reflex? The descent of the fetus causes the dilatation of the cervix of the uterus as well as the cervical canal. This results in a reflex called the Ferguson reflex. This reflex is also called neurohumeral reflex or fetal ejection reflex. As the contractions of the uterus strengthen over time, this helps the cervix to open up, and the cervix and the vagina becomes the birth canal and allows the descent of the baby for its delivery. Now, what happens in the neurohumeral reflex? This initiates, that means the cervical dilatation initiates the secretion of oxytocin from the neurohypophysis, which in turn brings about a powerful contraction of the uterine muscles, and this leads to the expulsion of the baby through the birth canal. You can see a cycle goes on. That means when the contraction of uterus occurs, the nerve impulses are transmitted from the cervix to the brain, and the brain stimulates the pituitary gland to secrete the oxytocin. The oxytocin is carried in the bloodstream to the uterus. This oxytocin stimulates the uterine contractions and pushes the baby downwards more towards the cervix, and the head of the baby pushes against the cervix. Again, when the dilatation of the cervix occurs, the nerve impulses reach the brain. This goes on. This is called the Ferguson reflex. Now, a very important hormone that plays in parturition is relaxin. What is relaxin? It's a hormone secreted by the placenta. It also is found in the corpus luteum. What does it do? It promotes the rupture of the fetal membranes. It also allows softening and dilatation of the cervix. It promotes relaxation of the pelvic joints. How? By causing stretching of the female pelvis. with continued and powerful contractions of the uterus and the dilatation of the cervix, the pelvic joints are relaxed, like the sacroiliac joints, the symphysis pubic joints. So the relaxation of the ligaments between the joints helps in the dilatation of the cervix as well as the pelvic cavity. What are the hormones other than the relaxin that helps in labor? Like the corticotropin releasing hormone, the cortisol, the estrogen, as well as the prostaglandins. Now, once the head goes down, there is a show. What is show? The rupture of the amnion membranes and the passage of amniotic fluid through the vagina. This is followed by the delivery of the fetus. After the delivery of the fetus, there is delivery of the placenta. The placenta, along with the remains of the umbilical cord, are expelled after a few minutes after delivery of the fetus. What are the different stages of labor? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. There are 4 stages of labor. In stage 1, there is starting of labor contractions till the rupture of the membranes. And stage 2, from the rupture of the membranes to the delivery of the fetus. And stage 3, the delivery of the fetus to the delivery of the placenta. In stage 4, it is the birth of placenta to 4 hours after delivery. That's called the recovery stage. You can see in first stage, there is dilatation of the cervix and the rupture of the membranes, delivery of the fetus in the second stage, and the delivery of the placenta in the third stage. Now, what is caesarean section? Normal delivery is not possible because of many factors, like the position of the baby is not good, like the transverse fetus, or the placental position is not good, like the placenta previa, or the woman had already undergone the previous caesarean, or there are problems like the cord problems, cord around the neck. The delivery can cause strangulation of the fetus. So in such cases, the baby is delivered through an incision in the abdomen of the woman and the uterus. It is termed as abdominal delivery or caesarean section or C-section in short. You can see in the picture the delivery of the baby through normal and through the caesarean section. Now we will go to the lactation. What is lactation? Lactation means production of milk by the mammary glands that are present in the breast, in the front of the thorax. The mammary glands show changes during menstrual cycle, during pregnancy and lactation. Now, what are the breast changes that occur during pregnancy? One is increase in the breast volume, proliferation of the breast glands and ducts, increase in the size of the production of the milk. So, during pregnancy, the nipples become sore, the areola, the Montgomery tubercles appear, darker and larger nipples are there, and the breast increases in size excessively, and sometimes after 12 weeks, there may be some discharge of colostrum from the breast nipple. So, the ability of the mammary glands to form and secrete the milk during the late pregnancy is called lactogenesis. So, you must know what is lactogenesis. What are the hormones that are essential in lactation? The process of lactation is controlled by various hormones like the estrogen, progesterone, prolactin, and oxytocin. What does estrogen do? They help in the growth of the breast before pregnancy. They also help in the growth of the ductal system of the breast during pregnancy. After delivery, the level of the estrogen falls. If the level is high, it can inhibit lactation. What is the action of the progesterone in the breast? It causes additional development of the lobules and final development of the breast into milk secreting organ. Increased levels of progesterone after delivery can inhibit lactation. So, the level usually falls after birth. The main hormone that is very important is prolactin. Increased levels of estrogen, progesterone, and human placental lactogen towards the end of pregnancy stimulates the hypothalamus towards the prolactin releasing factors. Even the suckling by the baby stimulates the hypothalamus. The anterior pituitary responds to the hypothalamus by secreting a hormone called prolactin, which plays a major role in lactogenesis. Lactogenesis means formation and secretion of milk by the breast glands. What is oxytocin? Oxytocin is a hormone secreted by the posterior pituitary. Oxytocin causes letdown reflex. That means the contraction of the muscles around the acini, resulting in ejection of milk from the alveoli of the mammary glands. You can see that the hypothalamus is stimulated by the suckling reflex as well as by the hormones that are present in the blood, and this stimulates the anterior pituitary to secrete the prolactin, which causes milk production and secretion, and the posterior pituitary causes secretion of oxytocin, which causes ejection of milk. During lactation, oxytocin also stimulates the recently emptied uterus to contract, helping it to return to the pre-pregnancy size. Now, we must know what is colostrum. The mammary glands secrete a yellowish fluid called colostrum during the initial few days after delivery or parturition. What is the composition of colostrum? It has less lactose than milk. It has no fat, contains more proteins, vitamin A, minerals, also rich in IgA antibodies. This is to sum up, the colostrum contains proteins, vitamins, minerals and maternal antibodies. What are the benefits of colostrum? This helps to protect the infant's digestive tract against the bacterial infection. It is a nutrient-rich fluid. It's produced immediately after giving birth by the female and is loaded with immune, growth and tissue repair factors. So, it's a natural antimicrobial agent to actively stimulate the maturation of the infant's immune system. Colostrum is an immune booster. No artificial feed can substitute the first milk that comes out from the breast of the mother after delivery, with all its natural benefits. Therefore, it should be definitely be given to the baby after birth. You can see the difference between the mature milk and the colostrum. Colostrum is slightly yellowish in color and the quantity secreted is lesser than that of the normal breast milk. What is the importance of colostrum is summed up here. The antibody-rich colostrum protects the infant from infection and allergy. Many white cells, leukocytes, are present in the colostrum, which protects the infant against infection. It's a purgative. It clears the meconium and helps prevent the jaundice in the infant. It also contains growth factors, which are very helpful in the intestinal maturity and prevents allergy and intolerance. It is rich in vitamin A, which reduces the severity of some infections like measles, diarrhea, prevents even vitamin A related eye diseases. Now going to breast milk. Breast milk is the ideal food for infants as it contains all the constituents in suitable concentration and is easily digestible. When you take the composition of breast milk, it contains water, protein, carbohydrates in the form of lactose, various amounts of fats, antibodies, vitamins and minerals, human milk oligosaccharides. It also contains 800 strains of bacteria, other immune cells and hormones. It is fully sufficient till about 6 months of age, and all infants must be breastfed by the mother to ensure healthy growth of the baby. The world is celebrating the breastfeeding as a World Breastfeeding Week, when in August first week from 1st to 7th, the World Breastfeeding Week is organized and promoted by WABA. WABA means World Alliance for Breastfeeding Action, by WHO, World Health Organization, and UNICEF. UNICEF means United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. So every year the WABA has a slogan to bring awareness about breastfeeding. Like for example, in 2020 it was Support Breastfeeding for a Healthier Planet. In 2019 it was Empower Parents to enable breastfeeding. Why World Breastfeeding Week is celebrated? To stress the importance of breastfeeding during the first 6 months of the baby's life, and a supplemented breastfeeding during the weaning period for 2 years in order to encourage new mothers for a healthy growth and development of the children, to guard the children from lethal health problems and diseases including neonatal jaundice, pneumonia, cholera and many other diseases. So we must know that the World Breastfeeding Week is celebrated from August 1st to 7th. Why? To create awareness on the importance of breastfeeding. The government of Tamil Nadu has also initiated various projects like Mother's Milk Bank. Feeding rooms in bus terminals are being established so that the mothers have some privacy to feed their young ones. It also organizes awareness campaigns during the first week of August to highlight the importance of breastfeeding to infants. We must know why the milk bank is established: to provide safe mother's milk. For whom? For fragile infants, for infants who have lost their mothers during pregnancy and delivery, and because of the infants being sick or premature infants being born. So milk bank is very helpful. With this, we come to the end of this lecture. Thank you. Kindly subscribe, like, share and comment our channel Read MedPrep Academy. Log on to www.readmedprepacademy.com. Our Facebook ID is Read MedPrep Academy. Our email is readmedprepacademy@gmail.com. Post your questions in the comment box. We will reply. Thank you.